Okay, so ang topic natin today is about properties of radicals. So, ito yung mga properties ng radicals na isa-isahin natin ngayon. So, simulan natin dito sa pinakauna, itong nasa baba natin. Well, napag-usapan na natin to sa ating previous lesson about radical, no? Nung in-introduce natin yung roots and radicals. Pinakita natin yung relationship ng exponent sa radicals. So, basically, kung ano yung index ng ating radical, yan naman ang denominator ng ating exponent na fraction. And kung ano naman yung exponent ng ating variable or ng ating number na nasa loob ng radicand, yan naman ang numerator ng ating exponent. So, gamitin natin yan sa ating mga example dito, no? So, our first example, we have the cube root of x squared. So, this is equal to, sulat muna natin yung ating radicand. Okay, yan ang magiging base ng ating exponent. And then, ang exponent ng ating radicand, yan ang magiging numerator ng ating exponent na fraction. So, we have 2. And then, yung ating index, yan ang magiging denominator ng ating exponent. So, we have here 2/3. So, number 2. We have y to the 4/3. Okay, so, kasi, itong property natin, ibig sabihin, kahit pagbaliktarin mo yan, pareho yan. So, ang ating fraction exponent will be equal to this one. So, this will be equal to ang denominator ng ating exponent, which is 3, that will represent the index of our root. So, we have here cube root of y to the 4th. Okay? And number 3. Well, alam natin na kapag walang number na nakasulat dito sa ating index, that will be square root. So, ang given natin is square root of y to the 4th. Well, this is basically equal to y to the 4th over 2, which is equal to y squared. Dahil 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. Now, let us go to the next property. We have here nth root of the x to the m is equal to the nth root of x, okay, over all raised to the m exponent, no? So, basically, pareho lang pag nasa loob ng ating radicand yung exponent or i-raise mo tong lahat sa power na m. So, that will be the same. So, for example, meron tayo ditong cube root of x squared. So, basically, this is equal to cube root of x, and then all of it was raised to 2. Okay? Then, number 2, we have the cube root of n. Okay, then this is raised to 2. Well, this is equal to the cube root of n squared. Then, number 3, we have the square root of x cubed to the 4th. Okay, so basically this will be equal to the square root of x cubed raised to the 4th. Okay, so makikita ninyo, no, kasi sa mga given natin dito, alam natin may exponent to na 1. So what we are doing is that we are multiplying itong ating exponent sa labas dito sa exponent ng ating radicand. So here we have exponent of 3. So, what we'll do is to multiply itong ating exponent sa labas dito sa exponent ng radicand. So, we'll have 3 times 4 ng ating exponent will have x to the 12. Okay? Now, let's go to the next property. Okay, so we have here the nth root of x with an exponent of n is equal to x, no? So, it's like just kinakancel lang natin tong ating root and ang ating exponent. Well, basically, alam natin that this is equal to n root of x, the n is equal to nth root of x to the n, di ba? Pareho lang itong unang ginawa natin dito. So, basically, this is just the same as this, yung ginawa natin ngayon. Ngayon, ipapakita natin kasi kung bakit x ang naiwan dito. Because, we know from the first property na pinakita natin dito, okay, that this is equal to the fraction of exponent, no? So, we will have here x to the n over n. And we know that n over n is equal to 1. Okay, n divided by n is equal to 1. So we have here x1 which is equal to x. So that's why this is equal to x. Okay, so let us now solve problem. We have here number 1, cube root of y raised to the 3 is equal to y. Because this will just be like being cancelled out, no? And now in problem number 2, we have here cube root of x to the 7th. Okay, so anong gagawin natin ngayon dito, guys? Well, in this type of problems, we should apply yung laws of exponents na natutunan natin last time. So let us make a review, no? I will just write it on this right side ng ating worksheet. So we know that x to the m times x to the n is equal to xm plus n. Diba? Ina-add lang natin yung exponent natin kapag meron tayong minumultiply na exponent na may parehong base. Therefore, kapag meron tayong x squared times x cubed, this will be equal to x2 plus 3, which is equal to x to the 5th. So, on the same manner, guys, in reverse, if we have x to the 5th, pwede natin itong gawing x to the 4th times x1, di ba? X to the 4 times x. Or x to the 5th is equal to x cubed times x squared, di ba? Pareho lang siya, no? So, gagamitin natin to, guys, in a similar problems like this, kapag ang exponent ng ating radicand is greater than the index ng ating root, in order to make it divisible by our index. Kasi makikita natin dito na nasisimplify natin yung ating mga radical kapag meron siyang exponent, yung ating radicand, that is divisible by our index. Katulad nito, meron tayong cube root of y, then may exponent na 3. So, we can just cancel this out. So, we have to do the same here para masimplify natin siya. So, in this case, yung 7, ang divisible ng 3 na nasa loob ng 7 is 6, diba? So, 3, 6, 9, 12. So, 6 is divisible by 3. So, what we can do here is to take the cube root of x to the 6 times x to the 1, right? So, we are not writing 1 here because it is understood. So, this will be x to the 6 times x. Okay, however, in order to solve this, we need to apply this next property right here, no? So, mag-a-advance tayo ngayon. Because in this property, as you can see, meron siyang parehong root, no? Nth root and nth root. Then, you are multiplying them. So, kung ano yung radicand netong isa is just being multiplied sa radicand ng kabila. So, we will have here nth root of x times y. So, we'll just multiplying itong ating radicand. So, the same way, kapag meron tayong ganitong given, na meron tayong minumultiply dito na radicand, we can separate it in this way, no? Nth root ng first variable and nth root ng second variable. So, we can do the same on these types of problem, no? So, let us see. So, we have cube root of x to the 7 is equal to, now we will separate this. We have cube root of x to the 6 times cube root of x. Now, we know that cube root of x to the 6 is also equal to the x to the 6 over 3, which is equal to x squared, because 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. Therefore, our answer here will be x squared times cube root of x, or this can be written as x squared cube root of x. Okay? And then for our third problem here, we have the square root of 4 x to the 5th y cubed z. So, we know that we have an index of 2 right here because this is a square root. So, gagawin uli natin itong ginawa natin because these two variables have an exponent greater than our index. So we will have here the square root of 4 times x to the 4th times x. Okay, then times y squared times y times z, right? Now, yung 4 natin can also be expressed in a form of an exponent, no? We know that 4 is equal to 2 squared. So we will have here the square root of 2 squared times x to the 4th times x times y squared times y times z. So now, ilabas natin itong mga values natin that is divisible ng ating index. So we'll have here the square root of 2 squared, okay, times the square root of x to the 4th times the square root of y squared, then all will be multiplied to the square root of x, y, and z. Ito, because they are not divisible by our index. So we'll have here square root of 2 squared. This will be like being cancelled out, no? So we'll have here 2. Square root of x to the 4th, we have 4 divided by 2. We have x squared. And we have square root of y squared. So we'll have here y. And this will be square root of x, y, and z. So therefore, our answer here will be 2x squared y square root of x, y, z. Okay? So, punta na tayo dito sa nilagpasan natin kanina, no? Let us solve problem number 1. We have cube root of x times cube root of 2y. So, katulad ng napag-usapan natin kanina, they have the same root. So, you will have to copy that, cube root of, and then multiply natin itong kanyang radicand. So, we'll have here x times 2y. So, this will be equal to cube root of 2xy. Problem number 2, we have the square root of x cubed times the square root of x to the 5th. Okay, so pareho siyang naka-squared. So, we will just multiply yung kanyang radicand. So, we'll have here the square root of x cubed times x to the 5th. So, loss of exponent, we will just add the exponents here. We'll have here square root of x to the 8 because 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. And then let us try to solve the third problem. I will do it on the far right side. Okay, so we have here cube root of 2x times the 6th root of x squared. Okay, so let me solve this part first, no? We know that the 6th root of x squared is also equal to x2 over 6, which is equal to x. 2 divided by 6 will be 1/3, diba? So, therefore, this is equal to the cube root of x, right? So, we have here cube root of 2x times the cube root of x, which is equal to the cube root of 2x times x. Therefore, this is equal to the cube root of 2x squared. And that's our final answer there. Now, let's go to this next property right here. Bago tayo magpatuloy sa ating discussion, we would like to ask for your support to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please click on the notification bell para lagi kayong updated sa mga ipopost naming mga video. We also like to invite you to register sa aming website, www.enginerds.org. Our website is an online community for Filipino engineers, engineering students, and STEM students. If we have a fraction in which our numerator and the denominator are radical having the same root, katulad nito, yung numerator natin nasa nth root and yung denominator natin is nasa nth root din, no? So you can just combine them and then divide itong kanilang radicand. So in here, kung ano yung nasa numerator mo, of course, yan din ang magiging numerator ng nasa loob ng radicand mo. And yung denominator, yan din ang magiging denominator ng radicand mo. And this is applicable only as long as your y is not equal to 0. Because if y is equal to 0, this will be undefined. Okay, so let us solve problem number 1. You have here the cube root of x squared over the cube root of y to the 5th. Okay, so this can be combined this way, the cube root of x squared over y to the 5th. And this will be our answer. Number 2, 4 times the square root of 50 over 2 square root of 2. Now we have here same root, no? We have square root and square root sa denominator. This actually can be written this way. 4 over 2. Okay, hiniwalay natin tong ating coefficients here. Times the square root of 50 over 2. So this is equal to 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. And then square root of 50 divided by 2 is equal to 25. And we know that 25 is equal to 5 times 5. Therefore, the square root of 25 is equal to 5. So we have here 2 times 5. So our answer here will be 10. Now problem number 3, we have here 6 times the cube root of x to the 6 y cube over 3 cube root of x to the 4th. So again, we'll write it this way, no? 6 over 3 times the cube root of x to the 6 y cube over x to the 4th. Now, we should apply the laws of exponent. Kapag meron kang exponent sa numerator and denominator having the same base, you just need to subtract yung kanilang exponent. So, we'll have here 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2 times the cube root of x to the 6 minus 4 y cube. So, this will be equal to 2 cube root of x squared y cube. And this is our final answer. So, next property natin. So, we have here a radicand na nth root of x. And this is also a radicand of mth root na nandito sa labas. So, we will just multiply ang kanilang index. You will have here m times n. And that will be the index of our root. Then, retain the radicand. So, let's solve first problem. We have cube root of the square root of y cube. Okay, so sabi natin, i-multiply lang natin yung kanilang index. So, we have 3 times 2. Okay, that will be the root of our y cube. So, we'll have here 6 root of y cube. And this is equal to y 3 over 6, which is equal to y 1 half. So, this is equal to the square root of y. So, that's the answer to our first problem. Now, second, we have x root of cube root of 2y. So, this will be equal to the x times 3 root of 2y. So, this is equal to 3x root of 2y. This is our final answer. Number 4, we have here the 5th root of 2 cube root of 8. Okay, now, in our formula here, we do not have any coefficient here, no? So, you cannot do this kapag meron kang coefficient dito. So, paano gagawin natin, guys? Well, we know that the square root of a squared is equal to x, right? So, if we have, let's say, the square root of 3x squared, this will be equal to x square root of 3, di ba? Kasi ito lang naman yung pwede mong makuha yung square root. Yung 3 will be retained inside our radical notation. No? Now, the same way, paano mo to ibabalik sa loob ng ating radical, no? You will multiply yung exponent niya dito sa ating index na may babalik mo na siya sa loob. So, in here, we have x, then square root of 3. We have an index here of 2, di ba? And exponent ng y. So, 1 times 2 will be equal to 2. So, you can also write this like square root of 3x squared, no? May babalik mo siya sa loob. So, that's what we need to do here. Kasi hindi mo ma-apply to kapag meron kang coefficient dito sa gitna nila. So, let us try to do that now. So, we have here fifth root of, okay, so we have here 2. We know that it has an exponent of 1. So, 1 times 3, we will have the cube root of 8 times 2. And then, multiply natin yung exponent. 1 times 3 will be equal to 3. So, this is equal to the fifth root of the cube root of 8 times 2 cube, which is 8. So, that means this is equal to the fifth root of the cube root of 64. So, ngayon, pwede na natin i-apply itong ating formula rito. No? Mumultiply natin yung kanilang index. So, we'll have here 3 times 5 is equal to 15. So, we have the 15th root of 64. And this is our final answer. So, the last problem we'll have here, number 4. Sorry, this is number 3. So, fourth root of x, cube root of 4x. So, gagawin uli natin yung ginawa natin kanina, no? Fourth root of cube root of, okay? So, yung nasa loob nating original na radicand, 4x. And then, yung x na pinasok natin sa loob, so this will be x cube. Okay? So, this is equal to fourth root of the cube root of 4x to the fourth. Okay, and then, let's move it here. We will multiply ang kanilang index. We have 3 times 4, which is equal to 12. So, we have 12th root of 4x to the fourth. So, as you can see, yung exponents natin dito is divisible ng ating index. So, therefore, we can write it this way. 12th root of 2 squared times x to the fourth. So, this is like 12th root of 2 squared times the 12th root of x to the fourth. So, this is equal to 2 to the 2 over 12 times x to the 4 over 12. So, this is equal to 2 to the 1 over 6 times x to the 1/3. So, finally, this is equal to the 6th root of 2 times the cube root of x. Okay? Now, let us go to the next property. Well, kanina, nakita natin sa ating property ito, no? So, if we have an index that is equal to the exponent, okay, ng ating radicand, this will just be cancelled out, no? And this will be equal to x. Now, we will dive deeper on this one, no? That you can see that if you have a radical here wherein your radicand is x to the n at ang index natin is n, the answer will be absolute value of x as long as the n is an even number. So, even number means 2 for everything divisible by 2. Okay, so kapag ang index natin is an even number, this property will be applied. What do we mean by absolute value that we can see from here? Absolute value means like how far the number is from 0. So absolute value is always a positive number. Like you can see from here, no? We are talking about the distance of a number from 0. We have 6 and negative 6 right here. Pero ang binibilang natin kung gaano siya kalayo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So both of it has a distance of 6 from 0, no? We are talking about the positive value kapag we are mentioning the absolute value. Okay? So that's why if you are asked, what is the absolute value of negative 9? The answer is 9. What is the absolute value of 3? The answer is 3. What is the absolute value of 0? The answer is 0. The absolute value of negative 156 is 156. So kapag nagpe-perform ka rin ng operation like subtraction na nasa loob ng absolute value sign, 8 minus 3 is equal to 5. But 3 minus 8 is also equal to 5. So laging positive ang sagot natin kapag we are taking the absolute value. So if the n is an even number, ang sagot natin is always absolute value. So laging positive. So for example, let us solve first problem, 8 to the 8. We have 8 root of 8, y to the 8. So this is equal to y. So it is positive value ng y. Number 2, we have the 10th root of negative x to the 10th. So as you can see, even number yung ating index, no? So that means absolute value ang magiging sagot natin. So pareho yung value ng ating exponent ng radicand and index. So it's like being cancelled out. So kukunin natin is yung absolute value. So therefore, kahit negative x to, our answer here will be x. So the next problem, we have the 4th root of negative 2y to the 4th. So even number ang ating index. At ang radicand natin is raised to the 4th. So ang radicand natin is negative 2y, no? But since ang index natin is even number, we will take the absolute value. So this is equal to 2y. Now let's go to the next property. So the same naman, pero ang index natin is now odd number. So ang odd number are those which is not divisible by 2, like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc. Right? Then kapag ganyan ang ating given, mariretain lang natin yung sign ng ating radicand. So kung negative yan, negative ang magiging sagot natin kung ano yung sign ng radicand natin. So first example, cube root of 5 cube. Okay, so this like being cancelled out, yung index at ang ating exponent here. So the answer will be 5 kasi kung ano yung sign ng radicand natin, yan na yung sagot natin. No? So number 2, we have cube root of x cube. Okay, this like being cancelled out, so we'll have here x. So number 3, 5th root of negative 4y to the 5th. Okay, so this will just be cancelled out, but since our index is an odd number, so this will be negative 4y. So the next problem we have here, 7th root of negative 7x to the 7th. Okay? So ang index natin dito is an odd number and ang radicand natin is negative. So our answer will be negative 7x. So punta na tayo dito sa last property natin. And this is just performing an addition or subtraction sa ating radical. So alam natin yung parts ng radical natin, no? So this is our radical and this is our coefficients. Okay? Our radical will be retained and we will just perform the operation ng ating mga coefficients. So let me show you an example. Yung ating first problem, you have 5 square root of y plus 6 square root of y. So pareho ang ating radicals dito, no? Square root of y. So we will just perform the operation ng ating coefficient. So we'll have here 5 plus 6 will be equal to 5 plus 6 square root of y. So this will be equal to 11 square root of y. So next problem, we have 7 cube root of x squared minus 3 cube root of x squared. Okay? So we'll do the same here. We have 7 minus 3 cube root of x squared. So this will be equal to 4 cube root of x squared. And then last problem, we have 3 fifth root of 2y minus x fifth root of 2y. So this will be equal to 3 minus x fifth root of 2y. So this is our final answer right here. Well, that's it for now, guys, and thank you for watching. We are inviting you to register sa www.enginerds.org. It is a community of Filipino engineers, engineering students, and STEM students. Thank you very much and have a nice day.